Hello, everybody, and welcome back. I'm journalist Danielle Masterson with Nutraingredients, and today we're going to explore whether Nutra can earn Pharma-Grade trust. Let's be clear, Nutraceuticals are not pharmaceuticals, but if this industry wants to be taken seriously, well, it must earn a higher level of trust. And that trust will come from science, quality, standardization, responsible claims, clinical validation, and supply chain integrity. On this panel, we have leaders from pharma, industry policy, and botanical innovation. So this is exactly the right group to ask. What does credible Nutra really look like? Sudarshan, I'm going to start with you. From the pharma industry perspective, what would make nutraceuticals more credible to healthcare professionals and policymakers?
Thank you very much, Daniel, for this question. It is a very fundamental question for us in the Indian industry. Nutraceuticals is at early stage. It is a sunrise sector for India. Pharma, we have gone a big way over the years, and India is recognized as the pharmacy of the world. We produce 20% of the generic medicines around the world. We are known for quality. We are known for scientific claims. We are known for making sure that we make difference supported by science. In nutraceuticals, still, we have to achieve that kind of credibility, because what is required, as you said in your opening comments, we have to build on the quality standards. We have to build on science and clinical trials. The claims have to be substantiated, and the claims have to be monitored very closely. So there has to be a system which guards and makes sure and build credibility of nutraceuticals. It is in the interest of nutraceuticals industry, because all of us should know that quality and claims are fundamental license to operate in any healthcare industry.
Well said. This next question is for you, Anil. You represent innovation-led pharma. What lessons from pharma quality, compliance, and evidence can Nutra realistically adopt?
Thanks, Danny, for this interaction. I think it's a very pertinent subject, more so in the context of the dialogue which we are having. Because I see Nutra today at a point of inflection. It is where pharma was maybe a decade or two back, but it is starting to play an increasingly important role. Why I'm saying increasingly important role? Because post-COVID, if you see, preventive medicine is what is coming in more and more. Preventive medicine to build immunity, preventive medicine to ultimately avoid medication. So the responsibility of the Nutra industry today, the responsibility which they carry on their shoulders is much more. And why I'm saying so? Because very many times we see claims being made which are not completely substantiated. There are issues of quality. At times, I'm not saying it's a blanket statement. There needs to be a scientific substantiation of what you are claiming. Because otherwise, why should someone take a Nutra where you're ultimately playing with your health? Ultimately, you're consuming it. It's a consumable. So that's why I use the word, it's at an inflection point. And whether it is from a global perspective, a global research-based pharma company's perspective, or an Indian perspective, I think it's all common. I mean, quality comes foremost. Making tall claims without substantiation cannot be accepted. The patient wants impact. The patient wants to see outcomes. And we are in this business because of patients. So the responsibility is ours combined as an industry, that how we effectively take this responsibility and ensure that there are much superior patient outcomes.
I'm glad you mentioned COVID, because just before we hit record today, we were talking about, I've been covering this industry for about 7 years. And when I started in 2019, my friends and family did not know what nutraceuticals or dietary supplements were. They had no idea what my job was. Now, post-COVID, everybody's familiar with Nutra, right? They know what elderberry is and things like that. And speaking of elderberry, botanicals, they're super complex. How do you build consistency and scientific credibility into a natural ingredient?
Botanicals are complex, very little bit complicated structure, and it has, unlike pharmaceutical drugs, which are often 100% pure, botanicals contains several group of molecules, and this sometimes it acts synergistically and for the better benefit. So that is why botanicals are not as a single molecule, but it is with a group of molecules. So it can act much better than as a single molecule sometimes. But what we want is basically as like a pharma drug, which is a standardization, the best standardization, somewhere maybe definitely with several markers. Of course, marker means active molecule, because this is the one define the product, the quality. So this standardization, if you do the proper standardization, this will give consistency from batch to batch. Then once it is done, then go for the science evidence, clinical study, proper study. As you said, it is need a proper clinical study, it's a proper clinical study and dosage based, optimized dosage, and then deliver to the pharma. I believe at the moment nutraceutical and pharma, good nutraceutical product and pharma product gap is narrowing now at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, speaking of the trust gap, where do you think it remains the highest, Sudarshan? Do you think it's claims, manufacturing, clinical evidence, regulation, or perhaps post-market monitoring?
So I will say 3 areas where the gap is very high at this particular moment. One is the quality, standardization of the quality, batch after batch. Same product is to be produced, because in Pharma-Grade, when we say that quality, what do we mean by quality? Batch after batch after batch, standard result is standard outcome. We can say that it is a complex area, it is plant-based many of the times. This task is difficult, but it is important to get that standardization. Second area is mixing. Many of the time mixing takes place. If the product is manufactured at the same site where pharmaceuticals and nutraceuticals are being manufactured, how do we avoid the mixing? So quality is one of the fundamental things, and a quality is the fundamental license to operate in nutraceuticals and pharma. Very, very important. Second is claims. What kind of claims that we are making? Because let's realize that the world is moving from communicable diseases to non-communicable diseases. Obesity is becoming important, cardiac diseases are becoming important, diabetes is becoming important. And for those kind of diseases, proactive and prevention is very, very important. The point which Anil was talking earlier. Now, given that fact, it is not only the treatment, it is also nutraceuticals which have to supplement. Because like in COVID times, we said zinc-based preparation is very important. Protein-based preparation is important. Even in obesity, we are talking of protein-based preparation. So what kind of claim you can make? That is very, very important, and the basis of those claims. So I will say fundamental issue is quality, claims, and scientific evidence behind it.
Yes, that's right.
Anil, if a nutraceutical company adopted every pharma discipline tomorrow, would it necessarily become more trusted, or would it just make it more expensive?
Well, I would keep the two separate, though there is a convergence happening. But that convergence doesn't mean that a Nutra company follows and adopts 100% of what pharma companies comply with, because there the requirements are much more stringent. But in the same breath, I would like to add that given the knowledge of the consumer today, of the patient today, their preparedness of what they are consuming, I think the Nutra companies need to play, again, what I said earlier, a much more responsible role by putting the right, not claims, but ingredients on the labels which are there. Because very many times you have labels which do not fully disclose. So what we need is transparency. I'm digressing from your question a little bit, I know, because you were asking, comparing head-to-head Nutra versus pharma. So I'll come back to that question again. Though there is convergence happening, the need to necessarily replicate 100% of what pharma is doing is not required. But at the same time, whether it is the claims, the ingredients, the formulation which is there, your more disclosures are required. because what you need to gain is trust. And we've been talking of trust. If the trust is not there, a patient or a consumer will move away from taking a particular nutraceutical. Because there are several overstated claims which are there. On most products, I'm sorry to use that word most, all the ingredients are not mentioned for whatever reasons. And you don't know what you are actually consuming in totality. So to that extent, I think the pharma standards are required, because a patient has every right to know what he or she is consuming and how is it going to impact his or her health. Whether it is, is it for non-communicable diseases or for any lifestyle related diseases or even for cosmeceutical benefit, because that is again another area, one area which is gaining strength. But you're playing with the life of a patient. There may be impurities, you don't know. This is something which comes up fairly frequently in nutraceuticals. There could be impurities. So, while I am saying that you don't need to necessarily 100% replicate, but the convergence has to happen gradually.
I think, can I add one point? As you said, the Nutra and Ayurveda, lot of difference. Ayurveda product, that India is popular for Ayurvedic product, traditional product. Ayurveda, we cannot see complete description of the ingredients or the marker components. We cannot see clearly. But Nutra, the clean, good Nutra is standardized with a particular molecule or particular group of compound that will be listed on the bottle. And also there will be a certificate analysis, the company who use or buy the product, it is with a certificate analysis and it will mention how it is analyzed, which method, HPLC or UV or some method. So that's also should be there. So Nutra, that's why it is different from Ayurveda.
What are your thoughts on proprietary blends? Because of course you want to protect your formula, and you don't want copycats, but you also want to be transparent.
Proprietary means it's transparent, because once we took the patent, it's open. We can say what contains this, not like other Coca-Cola's type of chemistry. Here, what we patent or what we get the proprietorship, everything will be listed out. For example, curcumin, curcumin or bioavailable curcumin, we have a complex with the curcumin and essential oil or turmeric together, and it is patented. But in all certificate analysis or all delivery, we mention this much of curcumin in the product, and it is a must. And it will be tested, not much in India, but USA and other countries, all will be tested, and it will have a very big responsibility on that.
What do you think is the biggest difference between evidence-backed botanical innovation and simply wrapping traditional knowledge in scientific language?
As we discussed, evidence is the most important thing. Consumer satisfaction or their happiness is the most important. That determines the quality of the product. So evidence is very important, and also standardization first, and second evidence, and the quality clinical study, not a single study, several studies. We don't depend on all branded product, they don't depend on the single clinical study. They depend on the several clinical study. For example, one of our product, cumin, biological, we have more than 45 human clinical study published or done all over the world. So this is the way the evidence we are making, and this evidence is very important in a pharma.
Yeah, and speaking of evidence, and this question is for anybody and everybody, what should be the minimum evidence standard before a nutraceutical product makes a serious health claim?
Now, building on some of the points which Penny has been saying, yes, you are talking about the ingredients, but the critical question is whatever ingredients and quantity which is being mentioned there, is there a standardization of manufacturing processes? So batch after batch, that product carries those ingredients and produces that outcome. Because if we have built evidence, when we are talking of evidence as far as nutraceutical product is concerned, and there is a good learning, nutraceuticals products are in the formats which are convenient for patients. and which patient likes to use. They are also communicated in a way which is simple for patient to understand. Great point. And the pharma also should learn from that. The critical question is, when the claims are being made, are there any studies and they can be justified? The point which Benny was making, curcumin, there are 40 studies. Now, it is very difficult to say whether 5 studies are enough or 10 studies are enough. However, the critical point is there has to be a scientific evidence to make that claim, and then the product should deliver those claims in the way it has been mentioned. Because if you have put the claims, but if the product you are saying that these kind of ingredients are there, if they are not fully there, there is no way to test it out. So, important point is claims and studies which is being done, which is done in a scientific way, objectively at a clinical center, which is justifiable, and we should be able to make those claims.
Quality of the publication.
Quality of the
Publication.
And also, when you're making a claim, I think it is essential to establish the superiority of your product, because you're making a claim over an existing molecule, or an existing molecule is the word in pharma, but in Nutra, over any other existing formulation which is there. Because otherwise you may say, no, my product works better, but how does it work better? I mean, there has to be an established supremacy or superiority of your product. Because only then you can stake a claim, otherwise it will be an unsubstantiated claim.
You're right, yeah. So basically, this is, you are right, 100%. Sometimes, we develop a product for pain. So, pain management. So, it's also turmeric or boswellia or something combinations, Sometimes the first step is, as you said, we compare with the paracetamol. So, whether it acts like a paracetamol or it's better or bad. So, this is what we do. I think it's a very essential to compare with even existing drug. It's very important.
Because any claim, whatever claim you are making,
correct.
to substantiate that
yes,
claim.
differentiated,
And
Because
the point
trust is so important, and today a customer goes on trust and not so much on brand. Okay, you build a brand, but if you lose the trust, your entire effort of building a brand goes for a toss.
Definitely.
Because trust is very
important
in every aspect of it.
Do you think that the nutraceutical industry is asking to be trusted before it has earned that trust?
Well, my answer is yes and no. Because we have seen that at times the nutraceutical companies are very aggressive in terms of promoting a product. Because it's always a question of short term versus long term. Because short term, you want to make commercial gains. And to make those commercial gains, you make a statement which is not 100% substantiated. So that's why I said yes and no. That what comes first. And if you go through that process of really building trust, it may take you longer. But if you have a short-term view, and not everyone has that view, but there are a large number of players. So it brings me back to my point that it needs to be controlled, because if it's left completely uncontrolled, then even the good ones earn a bad name. Because as an industry, nutraceutical, or people make claims that you mentioned about Ayurveda, that no, it has heavy metals in it. Not all Ayurvedic products may have heavy metals, but that's a perception which I as a layman carry. So it's always like some level of control is required, because if we leave it completely without any controls or monitoring or regulatory surveillance, then we could result in issues of trust.
Benny, how can India convert its botanical heritage into globally respected, evidence-backed innovation?
India is known as botanical garden of the world. That is, India is having a lot of diversity, traditional knowledge. As I said today morning, our gold mine is, India's gold mine is our traditional knowledge. So, but internationally, Indian products are getting more popularity than Chinese product. China also is having several plants in China, but interestingly, according to Chinese people, this type of proper standardization is one of the key area. That's the starting step of any product development, to be standardized well with the active molecules, and that is very important. When it is that, and then it is to be quantified very well by the equipment. That's another point. So once it is done, And then if you go through the evidence-based good clinical study, dosage optimization, that's also very important. We cannot go with the high dosage. And even we have experienced a lot, high dosage sometimes don't work. So this type of dosage optimization is also to be done. Then of course toxicity and then heavy metal contamination of thing. This is all well controlled in this type of product. So
Maybe building on what Benny is saying, India is the botanical capital of the world. India is the pharmacy of the world. If we synergize both the strengths, there is a big opportunity going forward. The opportunity is the whole world disease paradigm is undergoing a change. It is moving from acute to chronic to degenerative diseases. And in that area, it is not only therapeutic option will work, it is nutraceuticals option will work.
yes.
And if we combine both the strengths and to make it work, fundamental is very strong regulation in terms of quality, which is respected by the world, like US FDA is respected. So we have to build a strong regulation. We have to have a strong clinical trial system, and we have to have a credible claims which can be vetted.
Yes.
Now, if we combine all these three, there is a big opportunity going forward. And India can be the nutraceutical hub of the world. Danielle, you are at the right time in India. And
It's well
can
on
be-
its way.
It can be
It's,
a catalyst process going forward.
Exactly. This nutraceutical industry is like a ocean, There is no limit. If you find out the right thing, the right way, right thing, no, because the industry is growing very fast.
So the combination of botanical capital of the world and the pharmacy of the world, if we can combine two with the AI, because AI can play a very
I
important
just would like to add one point, it's, as you said, it's a very, very relevant at this moment. One of our study is a government-sponsored cancer study going on the curcumin and metformin, both together, for cancer prevention. There is a study in India, it's ongoing in 1,500 patients, and it's 100% sponsored by Government of India. And this, we are supplying the curcumin and they are buying the metformin, because this is the combination. What they found out, the researchers found out that this combination acts synergistically and it's very effective. It's going on very well.
Okay.
Thank you.
You brought up some interesting points, and it makes me wonder, can pharma and Nutra collaborate meaningfully without confusing regulatory boundaries?
It's all, both are different separately, Delivery is separately, because curcumin is as a food supplement and the drug is another way. It's not joining together. We cannot join together, we cannot mix together. So it will be two type of deliveries.
Like say, there is a great scope of learning from each other. No nutraceutical product can become big unless it is promoted through doctors. Doctors' endorsement is important. Whatever I've seen in India, particularly like the Abbott, I have worked in Abbott, we believe ethical doctor promotion is important. So doctors' credibility, like say pharma product, will build the credibility.
Yes, in India.
In India. And globally also, if there is doctor's endorsement, that they believe that this product will work, it will make the difference. Other learnings for nutraceuticals is learn from the pharma manufacturing, learn from clinical trial and the evidence, and learn from making a strong regulation. It will help the industry. It may sound that why regulations, but regulations sometimes helps to build the credibility of the industry.
I've got one final question before we wrap this up, and it's, if regulators announced tomorrow that every health claim required pharma-level evidence, how much of today's nutraceutical market would survive?
It's not a difficult point, because
Very difficult, not difficult, very difficult.
I don't think so, because as you mentioned and said earlier, natural drug, nutraceutical going for the drug don't need that much of stringent, like a pharma drug, the manufacturing facility also cannot be done like a pharma drug, for nutraceutical industry. So why I'm telling this, It is happening now. One of our product in ashwagandha, one of our ashwagandha product is getting drug license in Brazil now. So it is the final phase now. So it is actually.
Yeah, but Benny, that will be in few cases. Overall, if you see, even, I mean, I am talking of India because I am largely a domesticated guy, so I don't have an international exposure. When I mean domesticated, means I'm talking of Indian market, not the other domestication, which some people think. Okay, so if you look at her question was how many such nutraceutical players will survive? I would say very few if we follow the pharma regulations, because currently if you look at the Indian environment, people change the route and go the FSSAI route to obtain their licenses, because there's a compromise on quality, on regulation.
Yeah, correct.
And that's a faster way of getting into the market. And a lot of people have started doing it, which is not necessarily good for the patient. Because you don't know, I mean, if there's a compromise on quality and stringence is not there and you are adding multivitamin, multi-minerals and you don't know what will that lead to, what will be the final outcome, then the patient you run the risk of playing with the patient, your patient's life or well-being. So I would say that's why I had used the word, while we are getting to a convergence, but applying pharma standards entirely to nutraceuticals will not necessarily work.
Maybe like building on what Anil is saying, quality cannot be compromised. Claims, like if they are preventive claims, you cannot do the research like pharma products is there. But if it is someone says that it can cure cancer, then you have to have a larger study. But like for the products which are more of prophylactic area, you cannot have pharma kind of standards. However, there has to be a basis, there has to be a scientific way of making those kind of claims. So getting to that complexity as pharma is concerned will be a difficult thing, because we are talking of a very two different kind of domain. We are talking of domain which should be more in a preventive area, prophylactic area, support the changing world. But if someone says that it cures diabetes, reduces blood glucose level, then you have to support it with a pharma kind of a thing. So it depends upon the nature of claim being made, than talking blanketly that everything pharma should be.
So just one last point, because I'm not comparing with a regular drug, not pharma drug. Because there is a in between, phytopharmaceutical.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the area I'm talking on.
Her question was different, so that's why I reacted.
I'm sorry,
It is very important, Anil and Benny. Anil and Benny is
because my
very
idea always in the phytopharmaceutical drug route. Not because drug always in 100% pure single molecule or two molecules.
See, there's a separation. You have Nutra there and Pharma here. So there's that doesn't apply.
Definitely.
And
That's right.
Danny is dividing the separation between the.
It's good.
Well, it's clear that, the opportunity ahead is huge, and credibility it can't be treated as a differentiator. It's really the price of entry. So I think that's a key takeaway today. Benny, Anil, Sudarshan, thank you all so much for joining me today.
Thank you very much. It's a great opportunity.
Thanks.